lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. We are live here for round number 10 of the Western States Racing League 50th season. It's going to be 80 laps here in the trucks at the old bumpy Daytona. I'm Liam Irving, joined up in the booth by Alan Bergen. Alan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Liam. I'm excited here. We're at Daytona. We're going to have 80 laps of racing action for you. And, it's kind of weird because Western States really didn't start their season at Daytona like they normally would, like most people did. So I'm excited to be here. I'm happy I'm able to help in and help you out last minute here in the booth.
Yeah, I'm excited too. We're in for a good show here as we're getting to the tail end of qualifying. We've got 43 pit stalls ready for 44 drivers. Alan was going to be the 45th. But he decided to come up here and join me in the booth. It's very kind of him to do. And
Hey, I'm just excited to be here and excited to be able to help you out. And, like I said, just kind of be here and watch some good racing action. And, you know, basically, this will be it for the week for me, as I got one race tomorrow night and then it's off to Nashville.
yeah, it should be a good time. I hope you have fun out there.
Yeah, whatever happens in Nashville stays in Nashville, right?
Something like that. I don't know. I've driven through Nashville. I haven't stopped, so nothing for me happened there. But it's a very beautiful looking city. As we see Barry Phil, he completes his lap. He goes up to 22nd fastest. Matt Sisler's getting out here ready to put down a lap. Brandon Hughes getting out onto the racetrack as well. Sisler doing what he can to ride right on that yellow line, trying to run the shortest distance around here at Daytona. Just about 2 minutes left here in the session. 33 drivers have put down a lap time. If these guys in the back don't get out here and put a lap down soon, then our one driver going home is going to be decided on a metric, it would seem. So you can see the lap times rolling across your screen on the top. Go back and bring up our race info page. You can see 82 degrees is the ambient temperature. 128 degrees is the track temperature. That's going to make these things real slick. I know we don't really think about handling a lot in the trucks at a plate track like this. With those tire temperatures, or with that track temperature, it's really going to raise those tire temperatures up and upset the cars.
You're not wrong there.
Chad Simpson is fastest with less than a minute to go. He put down a 52.49. Nobody else out on the racetrack at the moment. Daytona International Speedway, first built in 1959. Big Bill France wanted to make the biggest, baddest super speedway he possibly could. So they dug out what is now Lake Lloyd to set up the bankings in the corners at this racetrack. 1 year later, well, no, actually 59 was the first Daytona 500. But Big Bill had a dream, he had a vision, he made it come together. That's where we are right now. The world center of racing, the Daytona International Speedway. And as qualifying finishes up here, it looks like Russ Kilgore in the 4 is going to be the one who does not start this race. We'll go ahead and show you guys the grid here. Chad Simpson sitting on the pole with a 52.49. Ryan Steele to his outside, just a couple hundred slower. Lyle Swearingen, Jeff Schmeier, Charles Woods, Rob Gall, James Lehman, Butch Davis, Chris Samard, and Bob Beltrami round out your top 10. We've got Kerry Cleaver, Andrew Schulte, Christian Bishop, Heath Smith. Sorry about that. Then Charlie Widener, Chris Voiles, Morris Bogan, Fred Williams, Julian Ritchie, Ross Rawlings, Dustin Burns, Michael Milfeld Jr., Barry Phil, Brian Barnes, Kyle McCartney, Dan Brazington, Earl Weaver, David Weaver, then Earl Weaver, Kelly Bishop, Justin T. Wilkinson, Justin Michael, or Scott Kukas, then Justin Michael, Matt Sisler, Jeremy Moore, Kevin Becker, Nathan Brown, Dennis Fuson, Brandon Hughes, Daryl Scott, Keith Kelman. Rounding out the field, Skylar Vickroy, Robert Stevens, and Dave Rudd. Just about everybody ready to rock and roll here at Daytona for 80 laps on the high banks. Chad Simpson rocking a different style 42 this week. The engines are fired. These guys are about to get rolling here at Daytona. Now, Alan, we've seen the domination out of number 87, Justin Michael, all year so far. It's going to be a lot tougher for him to try to get home with this checkered flag at a track like Daytona.
Oh, it absolutely is. And here's the thing is you're going to need a friend here. And so you're kind of wondering if you hope you didn't make anybody mad along the way. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, when you've had such a strong run like the 87 has this season, guys probably don't want to see you keep winning. They want to try to maybe hang you out to dry, make you lose as many points in this situation as possible.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong there. But anyways, we're getting ready for 80 laps, so I'm excited to get going, and I know you are too.
Yeah, 80 laps at Daytona. We are due in for an instant classic.
An instant classic is right. But I tell you what, Liam, I am excited to get this one underway here.
Yeah, Daytona, obviously one of the longest pace laps, one of the longest waits, and that just builds the anticipation, that builds the nerves in these guys. I mean, you know you can't really go super hard at the beginning because there's a long way to go, and especially at a track like Daytona, you can't win it in turn one. You can't even get a gap here.
No, you can't. And you're going to have to make your own moves. I mean, like you mentioned before, it's going to be a handling track.
Green flag is in the air. Chad Simpson gets out to about a car length and a half over Swearingen. Everything stays clean and green so far. Everybody's staying double wide all throughout the field. Ryan Steele now with a bit of a push from the 30 of Jeff Schmeier. Steele's going to get clear for the lead. Now here comes a strong run down on the inside. Alan, just look at how these trucks react going over all these bumps.
Yeah, these guys are in for a rough ride, Liam. I mean, I hope they got the force feedback turned down because I know it's going to be, they're going to have an arm workout.
Definitely going to be feeling it at the end of this one. Seeing these guys bounce around in turns 1 and 2. It's only the second lap, and we're starting to see these trucks kind of, I mean, when they bounce, they're moving around more. You see one now jumping down to the inside. Looks to be Kyle McCartney in the 18. He's going to drop back to the way back of this field. But yeah, when we get 10 or 15 laps into a run, especially on this super hot racetrack, how much are these guys going to be sliding around? Are they going to be getting loose? Are they going to be getting tight?
I mean, I think they're going to be getting a little bit of both.
Time will tell. The top two are trading the lead back and forth, Chad Simpson and Ryan Steele. Nobody's really able to get out in front, stay out front at this point in the game. 2 laps complete here at Daytona. Take a look from high above. You can see that run up on the top side coming into the corner. Chad Simpson and Lyle Swearingen just pull away. Not this time. They lock bumpers now. They're going to get a little bit of a run coming up off of the corner. Three laps complete.
2 by 2. 2 by 2 by 2.
And now with the blimp all the way in turn 3, you can see at the furthest end of the racetrack just how close so many of these guys are together. The top 32 is within 2.5 seconds of your race leader. There's Kyle McCarty at the tail end of this field. He's 3.5 seconds off the lead. Still got a touch of this draft here. They're still neck and neck, nose to nose, trading the lead back and forth. That time, Ryan Steele led the lap, but Chad Simpson takes it right back on the bottom. Alan, one thing that we might not have been seeing before in the weeks prior to this update, we're seeing a lot more dark clouds here, a bit more cloud cover, and the clouds are moving around. This racetrack is not going to stay the same throughout the course of this race. We're going to see some changes in terms of the weather. Obviously not expecting any rain here in southern Florida or middle Florida. But the humidity is way high. That has something to do with that track temp being up all the way that it is. This asphalt just baking in the Florida sun.
Hey, look, it's hot and humid down there in Florida, man. It's hot and humid. These guys are gonna be miserable inside these race trucks as the afternoon wears on. But you know, we're about 7 laps in, and these guys are minding their PCQs, trying to find out what they have and what they don't have, as these guys are working their way around the track. And I tell you what, it's so bumpy. And they're going to have to use a lot of their communication skills.
Yeah, I would imagine that Chad is very vocal, very loud almost all the time out here. So just trying to set up together runs, get with their teammates.
73 laps to go here. This is going to be, you know, look, it's 80 laps. Yeah. But it might be a long 80 laps.
He pulls out of the pack all the way down into the grass, and I think he's going to lose the draft with that one.
Yeah, it's real easy to get behind here, too, at Daytona. Also, Liam is, you know, ooh, there's a truck. I'm about a half second behind you, though, as I'm trying to work through my own issues. But nonetheless, there's a truck that pulled out of the line and went all the way down to the grass, like you said.
Chad Simpson continues to lead this race. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a turn it up moment. Let you guys hear the sounds of your favorite trucks going around at one of the most famous racetracks in the world. We're turning it back down. We've got a caution flag on the Speedway. Believed to do with Keith Kelman and Skylar Vickroy. Not sure if that's what brought out the caution flag, or... Oh, Andrew Schulte had an issue. We're going to have to go back and investigate that a little bit more. It seemed like a lot of people were looking at coming into the pits. But the timing of that caution maybe led some of them to stay out.
Maybe. I mean, I think they're going to try to do this on one stop, Liam.
I mean, one stop from here?
One stop from here, yeah.
We'll have to see, man.
79 to go. One stop from... Hey, look, you know my math doesn't math.
St. Louis math doesn't always work.
Yeah, let's math.
I'm pretty sure the caution came out for the 07 spinning down the back straightaway. Everybody came into the pits that time. Dennis Fuson on the pace lap jumped to the pit lane. Did not start this race, so 42 entrants. 42 drivers that took the green flag. All 42 of them still on the lead lap here after 10 laps will be complete this time around. Justin T. Wilkinson inherits the race lead by staying out. Kyle McCartney stays out as well. Chad Simpson, the first of the drivers to come in and get a little bit of fuel that time. Lyle Swearingen behind him. Ryan Steele, Charles Woods, Jeff Schmeier, Butch Davis, Rob Gall, and Bob Beltrami. JTW and Kyle McCartney are going to come in this time around. So, Alan, I think you were absolutely right. I mean, there is some reason that these guys were planning on coming in early.
Coming early, use the draft. Get up there. You know. Or another strategy that I would use, avoid all the drama.
Well, we've seen that work for the likes of Denny Hamlin. I mean, he's a 3-time Daytona 500 winner, and I've seen him take almost every strategy under the sun into a race winning or a race contending situation. He's got a couple wins at Talladega as well, so not a bad guy to be compared to.
Not at all.
Appreciate everybody tuning in live here on Sim Racing Media. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you never miss any action. We've got some pretty cool things in the works coming forward, but for now we've got 6 nights of incredible racing a week. We'd love to have you with us.
Yeah, I can't wait. 6 nights.
Alan, don't lie. You can't wait for your vacation. You got Nashville on your mind. You know you're in for a good time up here. But
I am.
We got a good time up here in the booth at Daytona as well. It's almost weird to see like this early of a race at Daytona, because the Daytona 500 doesn't usually start till 2:30 or so. It's about an hour in, and we're already looking at the sunset. The duels, they run those at night.
Hey, look, I think the duels are a lot better of a night race, if you will.
I think they're a blast either way. Is the top 20 or 25 or so get away pretty good, and then it's another second back to Darrell Scott, Keith Kalman, Kyle McCartney, Michael Milfeld Jr., Andrew Schulte. A lot of these guys that got caught out having to start single file here, getting a tail end of the lead lap penalty, or coming into the pits when it was closed, and quite possibly speeding. The unfortunate thing, the league admins, they can clear that black flag. They can take that penalty away, but the iRacing service is still going to assess that EOL penalty if it's happening under a caution flag. There's just no way around it. So these guys have a little bit of work to do, trying to chase down the rest of the pack, but they're single filed up as now Kyle McCartney's coming down into the pits.
Kyle McCartney, he's one of those guys, Liam, that I like watching on a regular basis. He's always strong in this league. He's good no matter wherever he goes.
Yeah, he definitely is. He was running strong last week at Dover. Generally been up in the top fives. Now you see this line training on the top, getting around the 707 of Keith Kelman. These guys just choo-choo training up on the top of the racetrack, try to stay as straight and single file as they possibly can. Get as much energy built up and shove forward on this straightaway. I think they're gonna want to get down in front of that 07 and run the shorter line around the track, though. They're still losing time with cars in front of them. It's almost 3 seconds between Daryl Scott, 24th, and Michael Milfelt Jr. And while we've been watching cars going single file, as now there's a move from Terry Cleaver to get out of this draft. Still got Charles Woods up front. We're 3 wide almost for the race lead. Charles Woods, a new leader, with Butch Davis to his outside, and Lyle Swearingen giving a big shove to that number 40 truck.
Yeah, you're gonna see that. I'm looking to see 2 different paths as these guys are gonna go around the racetrack. You're gonna start to see this field split up into two separate packs. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
We've kind of already got that a little bit with the single file train, starting with Michael Milfelt Jr. Just about 3 seconds off the tail end of this pack. You can see all those guys single file back there, but is it going to be enough? It's now Daryl Scott at the back of this pack. He's getting a huge run.
I think it will. I think it'll be enough. And that's the other thing too, Liam, is you're going to have the outside line gain momentum, and then you're going to have the inside line gain momentum. So, just all about being patient. I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to be patient.
These guys coming up on JTW. They should be able to catch them coming up off of turn number 2 on the straightaway. Justin gets down below the yellow line for the most part, giving everybody ample space to get around him. It's not necessarily his job to do so, but he's being respectful and getting out of the leader's way so he could fall back in behind and try to catch this draft, stay up here, and maybe hold on to a free pass if a caution does come out.
Yeah, I mean, what good action right now. As we're working lap 17 of 80, and these trucks are 3 wide in most cases. But I tell you what, Liam, I have, on my personal wheel, I have the 4-speed backup all the way. And, I mean, these shocks are getting a workout.
Yeah, they absolutely are. There are crazy bumps all the way around this racetrack, especially getting up on the top side of turns 1 and 2. That gets really rough on these cars. The bottom side in 3 and 4 is where it's really rough on that end of the racetrack. So it's almost like you're gaining some, you're losing some, but you can't win on both ends of the racetrack. It's just taking what you can get and minimizing the loss of time on the other end of the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is crazy, man. Craziness right now. And look at the outside line. They're almost all the way up to the wall. How are these trucks not getting so loose that these guys are spinning out?
Well, it is still early. You see another one jumping down out of the way. That is Justin T. Wilkinson. He doesn't want to run with this lead pack anymore.
We're in lap 19. We're working lap 19 right now. And we still got 2 distinct lines. 180 mile an hour pace laps is what I call it.
Yeah, that's essentially what we're seeing here. These guys staying double wide, trading the lead back and forth. This time it's Swearingen by a nose up on the top side. Imagine if that was for the race win, man. Swearingen by just about a foot over Butch Davis. But we still got 62 laps to go in this thing.
62 laps to go in this piece. I mean, this is probably the cleanest race at Daytona I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah, these guys are doing an incredible job of giving each other space, maximizing these pushes where they can, but not being over aggressive on the pushers later on in line here. We've seen a lot of crashes being caused by pushing the pusher a little too hard. These trucks have gone through a little bit of a revamp with their damage model, so they're able to take a little bit more of a shot, but you still don't want to be too aggressive, especially when you're packed up like this, because one mistake could spell disaster for a lot of guys.
Oh, for sure. As you know, we're working lap 20, and these guys haven't wrecked yet. So, and the damage model that Liam's referring to is the whenever you wreck, you see car parts flying all over the place.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Now we've got some 3-wide action here in the middle. It's Morris Bogan. Looks like he's getting shuffled out. The 31 down on the inside, going to try to follow through. Well, maybe not. He's going to try to give him the space here. And Alan, I wonder if these bumps all over the racetrack, you're seeing how much they're upsetting these trucks. I wonder if that has something to do with just kind of the respect level that we're seeing out of these drivers so far today.
Yeah, they saw this in practice, and they saw this in practice, so like I said, they really got to be careful, because these bumps will definitely upset the race vehicle.
Alan, you called it. These guys are right back in the second pack. Single file worked out for them. They are right back within a car length, or a truck length rather, of the tail end of this lead pack now. That's going to put just about 35 of them under a blanket.
35 under a blanket, man. 35 trucks contending for the lead.
Here comes more pit stops. Milfeld Jr., Schulte, Heath Smith, Justin Michael as well. Alan, could you do me a solid? Check that info tab and see just how much fuel these guys are allotted.
1 second there, Liam. I am still working on here. I believe it's like 60% fuel, if I'm not wrong.
It's interesting that we've seen guys come in around 10 laps after each restart.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy like that, you know? Swearingen looks like he's up there and really doing pretty good. Looks like Bob Beltrami's up there too, running pretty good with these guys.
Beltrami up on the top side, getting a shove from Jeff Schmeier in the 30. They've got the 91 of Ross Rawlings with them as well, trying to make something happen up on the top side here. These guys come up off of turn number 4. I'm curious to see if anybody else is going to poke out, try a pit stop. But I wonder if that's what those guys were trying to do anyways. Get 10 laps or so off sequence, get back in line with themselves and see what kind of time they can make up.
I mean, I would expect that would be the case. And, you know, we got a little over 55 laps to go.
These guys running double wide right now. That's not what they want. Schulte's going to get down in front of that 50 truck. James Lehman. These guys single file once again. Charlie Widener, Kerry Cleaver. JTW's, well, he's just at the tail end of the lead pack. Here comes more of them. Dave Rudd, Barry Phil, Matt Sisler, Daryl Scott, Keith Kelman.
A lot of guys coming down pit road.
So strategy is changing up big time here in the early half of this race. Keep an eye on what these leaders do. Remember, everybody came in on lap 9 under the caution flag.
Oh, look at these guys. They're coming down pit road. So, Liam, you know, 80 laps at a bumpy racetrack like this. I mean, my arms are getting tired and I'm not even in the truck.
Here comes Swearingen. Oh, we got problems! The 40 car gets turned around on pit entry. He's going to get into the 91 of Rawlings. JTW's in it as well. We stay green. Things were almost perfect on that pit stop cycle. 40 car got sideways there. We'll keep an eye or let you know what happened in just a few moments. I got you, Alan. Sorry. All right. Bob Beltrami holds on to the race lead. Jeff Schmeier, Ryan Steele, Brian Barnes, and Rob Gall. Here comes Bob Beltrami into the pits along with Schmeier. McCartney's going to stay out here. We'll see how everybody gets in. No lockups this time. Well, a little bit of one from Jeff Schmeier there. We'll see if he's going to have to come back in to serve a penalty there, as now the 55, with the 35 rather, goes all the way down. Ryan Steele tried to sneak through to get to his box. Lyle Swearingen should inherit the race lead after this. We've got Andrew Schulte, Michael Milfeld Jr., and who else but Justin Michael on the top side, leading this pack. Coming around the top of Butch Davis for third, catching the 77 and the 68 of Lyle Swearingen. Now after these guys get around Brian Barnes, Ryan Steele, and Jeff Schmeier, they should be into the race lead.
Holy cow. Liam.
Yep.
You know what's more St. Louis than my math?
What's more St. Louis than your math?
Yeah, English spirit. Emo's Pizza.
What pizza?
Emo's, St. Louis style pizza.
I've never had it.
Oh, it's very good.
I'll add that to my food list, bucket list.
We can do that.
We're back up front. Lyle Swearingen takes the lead back from Justin Michael. We've got a couple of things to try to unfold here from that set of pit stops. Alan, I'm not totally sure how, but as I'm scrolling through this, I'm seeing you made a pass for P44, which is interesting because neither one of you guys are on the racetrack.
You know what, though? Maybe I'm having an out-of-body experience.
It could be it, as we are single file up here for the race lead. Up through the top 10 before we get back to Brian Barnes is pushing Bob Beltrami to the outside of Kerry Cleaver.
So we're on lap 29. and so far we have what, one caution,
Yep,
and
just the
then now we got one big single freight train. And about 51 to go. Dude, someone's gonna get really high.
Oh, that's Morris Bogan up the racetrack.
He
Oh,
goes
and
down.
big crash. Michael Melfeld Jr. goes around.
Oh no.
Charlie Widener's in it. Morris Bogan with damage. This is what happened coming down the pit lane with the 40 truck. Oh, he got shoved by Morris Bogan, turned around into the 95.
Whoa.
Bogan gets into another one there. That was the incident coming to the pit lane. There's Bogan getting up into the wall, bouncing off.
That just shows you how good these graphics have gotten on iRacing here.
Oh, Ryan Steele got a piece of it too. Jeff Schmeier, and look at the hit that Bogan and 17 have coming together. It's Charlie Widener.
And here's the thing, Liam, is we kind of saw that happen whenever Bogan got out of line like that.
And we're making pit stops here. Everybody's coming in.
Oh, you kind of have to now.
Yeah, it's not a shock to me.
No, not a shock to me either.
And there's a lot more cloud cover over this racetrack right now. Lyle Swearingen, Chris Samard, Chad Simpson, Butch Davis, they've taken tires this caution. Earl Weaver, Brian Barnes, your race leader, they've elected to roll with the same tires that they started the race on so far. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys are able to handle it up front on older tires compared to in the draft.
Well, here we are, 32 laps into 80 lap race. 2 cautions now. Not a big one. No big wreck yet.
It looked like it was going to be huge.
Oh, I know, right?
This goes to show the talent level that these Western States Racing League drivers, they're definitely able to bring these trucks through a little bit of chaos and get out unscathed. So we definitely appreciate that out of these guys. It makes the well, it makes the action almost speak for itself for us up here in the booth. These guys just do an incredible job week in and week out. Now we're lucky enough to get to watch them race at Daytona, the World Center of Racing, on the high banks, the bumpy high banks at that. So nothing's going to be a given for any of these guys. Doubling up once again here on lap number 33. Alan, I can confirm that it is 45% fuel that these guys get.
Oh, well then.
That is why we're seeing them hit so much extra here. They put the fuel cells to be a little bit smaller here for the restrictor plate race. Add in a little bit more of a challenge on this super tough, super bumpy Daytona International Speedway.
Well, I tell you this right now. I'm glad I'm in the booth and not out there.
Are you, though? I know I kind of stole you away last second.
No. Looking back on it now, I'd probably be wrecked out already.
These races are definitely tough. You know, you've got all of this traffic out here. We started with 42 drivers taking the green flag. We still have 35 of them on the lead lap. Charles Woods, Kyle McCartney, Chris Voiles, they're back on the racetrack after getting some damage fixed. Dan Brazington had himself an issue. I believe he's taken himself out of the race. We'll try to get you updated on what's going on with him or what happened to him in a few moments. Fred Williams and Heath Smith still on the pit lane, trying to get some damage fixed. But for now, up front, it is Brian Barnes on older tires over Lyle Swearingen. Chris Samard, Chad Simpson, Butch Davis, Justin Michael, Andrew Schulte, Earl Weaver, Jeff Schmeier, and James Lehman. The pace truck makes that hard left turn once again. Green flag is in the air, and Brian Barnes is going to lead him down.
Brian Barnes in that 35 popsicle truck, making me want a popsicle right now.
It would be a nice, cool, refreshing treat on this hot, hot Daytona day. The inside lane is... Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
Harry Hyde said he's busy eating ice cream. Well, I can tell why.
Popsicle truck able to get clear out in front. Second place, Chris Savard gets clear of the top side as well. He can take it if he wants it. The inside lane is really getting a strong run. Lyle Swearingen lost his help in the 42. Chad Simpson, he jumps down the racetrack, and now Earl Weaver in the 46 is the big pusher on the top. He's got help from the 50 of James Lehman. And of course, the 2 of Julian Ritchie making an appearance up here in the top 10 once again. No shock to see him up here. Just takes a little bit of extra time in a plate race like this. There's a lot of people coming and going all the time.
Oh, these guys are making it stick.
I do not know how.
I don't know either.
Every time I see him go over these bumps, especially this one going into turn 3 right there, you saw Brian Barnes bouncing. Now he's still bouncing on the bottom of the racetrack. The bottom side of turns 3 and 4 is so tough to get through. It can really upset your car. And, I mean, we've seen it happen many a times. Oftentimes it's because you got a car up on the outside taking some air away from the right side of your car as well. These guys are in trucks. Much flatter right sides, flatter deck lid, bigger spoilers. So they'll probably be okay on that for the most part. That doesn't mean that these guys aren't going to get caught out unexpectedly. Look at the top side. Earl Weaver with a huge shove to Lyle Swearingen. Now Weaver's going to try to get down in for the lead. He's not able to.
Swearingen makes it. Oh, man. These trucks are all over the place.
Yeah, Swearingen pulls off the block down on the bottom. Now here comes the 50 of Lehman up on the top side. He's got a big push from Julian Ritchie. Going to get him side by side for the race lead. But it's Swearingen by about half a truck length across the line that time.
We're almost halfway in the Speedway, and this is probably the most exciting race that I've seen here at Daytona in like 3 weeks.
Oh, wasn't it Daytona 500 like 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
We were pretty oversaturated with some Daytona action just a few weeks ago, but this is incredible stuff here as that 46 continues to show why he's going to be a good pusher and such a good friend later on in this show. Lyle Swearingen is going to love that push on his back bumper. It gets him clear for the race lead. Gets the second place truck clear as well. Julian Ritchie in third. He's going to get clear as well. The top 4 now single file as Lehman moves down to the bottom side.
Now they're starting to bail on that top line. You kind of want that 42 truck right behind your square engine.
Yeah, you want to keep Weaver right where you are. Now Richie's going to be able to... It looked like he had the nose there for a second. He's getting all over the back bumper of Weaver here. He's going to shove him up the racetrack a little bit. And that is still a really sketchy spot to hit somebody, is that left rear corner panel. You could hook them around really quick. You don't want to do that, especially up in the front of the pack.
No, so you don't want to bump someone in the corner, so you kind of want to back off their bumper and then make another run at it.
Looked like Weaver was going to try to look up top. Richie didn't have enough room to go with him, so Weaver comes back down. The 62 staying strong up on the top side. That's Darrell Scott. Driver we haven't talked a whole heck of a lot about this year. He's up 36 positions from where he started. Who says that plate racing doesn't take any skill? This guy has flown through the pack and passed more cars than anybody else in the field right now.
Yeah, inside, outside. That 46 truck is still sticking with swear engine there. Man, oh man, 2x2 action all through the field.
It looks like Richie is just waiting for the chance to go. Now he's got a clear shot up top. Does he stay in behind the 46 of Weaver? He does for now. He's going to stay in line, keep that run. The outside isn't really getting the momentum. Now he moves up top.
We're halfway, next time by.
These guys are racing like it's the white flag. Coming up to the top side, here's Julian Ritchie. He's got a big push from Darrell Scott. Ritchie slides up the racetrack a little bit. Scott gets a chance to move to the middle, but he doesn't do it. He's going to stay up top here with Julian Ritchie. Look at the pushing on the top and on the bottom. Swearingen and Weaver get the advantage going into turn 3. Coming to halfway this time around. This isn't even a super special significant lap. These guys are just out here trying to lead every lap that they can here at Daytona. And now here comes the first to pit. It's James Lehman. Justin Michael, Kerry Cleaver, Andrew Schulte, JTW, Michael Milfeld. The same guys who have been pitting first every time. They're the first ones to come in this time. What could be the strategy, Alan? With 45% fuel, that's going to leave you about... Oh! Julian Ritchie gets loose. Lyle Swearingen. Oh, big crash. Darrell Scott up into the wall.
Oh, no.
We stayed green. Never mind. They're crashing in the back.
We do not stay green.
We do not. Skylar Vickroy involved in another one. The Brownie truck as well. That's Nathan Brown on the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like Jeremy Moore. There was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. I feel so bad for those guys.
Try to figure out... Try to find the best spot to start here. I think this should be it.
Pick your poison. Okay, so number 2 hits the apron. And Swearingen is right there.
Okay, so now we stop. Because that was one incident. We've got the 5 already. He's gone around.
So we were green right there.
So we're still green at this point.
Yeah.
Checking up in front of the 5. He gets hit. You know, guys checking up. Not everybody saw what was happening there.
Oh man, that's a tough break.
Caution out once again here at Daytona International Speedway. And guess who just lucked out by taking all of this track position, having come in just before that crash happened? That would be James Lehman, Justin Michael, Kerry Cleaver, Andrew Schulte. Well, it's just the four of them as Earl Weaver and Ross Rawlings. They came in under caution on lap 42. So I would have to guess it's still 2 stops from here.
I think you're right.
I think you can maybe go 13 to 15. 35 laps to go. Even if you can push that 15 range, you're going to be about 5 short on 1 stop. Well, we'll have to see. The math is going to do what it does, I guess.
The math is gonna do what it does.
We're going to leave that back to Larry Mack in the Charlotte studios for Fox Sports. There's a reason that man has lost all his hair, and it's because his brain never stops working.
Well, I got some we can borrow.
I'm not sure how to take that. 1 lap to green. Lights are off on the pace car. James Lehman, Justin Michael, Kerry Cleaver, Andrew Schulte, and Ross Rawlings round out the top 5. And Ryan Steele, Jeff Schmeier, Chris Samard, Dustin Burns, and Bob Beltrami rounding out your top 10. "31 cars, or trucks rather, still on the lead lap, going all the way back to Michael Milfeld Jr., who's been slowly but surely trying to get some damage repaired from that earlier incident we saw coming up off of turn 4 with Morris Bogan. Decent amount of damage to that 155, but he's able to get out there. Nothing required necessarily, nothing meatball worthy, so he's able to get some done, get back out onto the racetrack. Robert Stephens has come back into the pits. Going to try to get a little bit more damage fixed before these guys come back to the green flag with 36 laps to go here at the Daytona International Speedway. We've put down just about 110 miles. We've got 90 to go for you. Roughly. It's going to be good. It's more
Well, it's
like
gonna get real good here.
87.5 miles per.
Just counting, right?
I'm trying to.
I want to see what I want to see what Lehman can do here in this 50 truck.
Well, we're about to find out what he can do. He's got Justin Michael to his outside. Michael, of course, won last time out in Dover. Been one of our strongest competitors all season. We've got Andrew Schulte, defending champion, right behind him on the outside. Number 69, Kerry Cleaver, in third with a strong restart, giving a big push to James Lehman.
Here we go. 35 to go. 36 to go, rather. And these guys are absolutely in a dogfight right now.
A dogfight is right. You gotta set yourself up now. You've only got 1 or 2 pit stops left. You can't afford to lose a ton of track time or track position with those happening. This last caution, I would have to say that's probably where you wanted to take your tires. I don't know if you're gonna have the chance to get fresh rubber on and still stay with these packs if you do it on a green flag pit stop. Of course, Daytona Racing Cautions already breed cautions, but when these guys aren't able to get away from each other, as you saw the 68 of Swearingen coming down into the pits. It's going to put him a lap down, back in the pack.
Yeah.
Obviously, that crash damage didn't help him too much, but...
I thought Swearingen had the truck to beat, though.
Yeah, he was running super strong all day, but now here comes that 87. He smells the race lead. He's familiar with that spot. He does not want to give it up. He wants to take it and run away with it as well as he possibly can at Daytona.
Here comes Justin Michael.
Look at the inside getting loose there. The 69 Kerry Cleaver got onto the apron a little bit loose. The 91 of Rawlings had to check up. A great heads-up job by him. But that allows the outside 87, 81, and the 12 to get clear. Are they going to all jump down? No, they're going to stay up top and try to keep Chris Samard and Bob Beltrami with them.
Eventually, the top side is going to bail on the bail and move down low.
Well, that's how it always goes. We're not used to seeing the choo-choo train here in the Truck Series. This older, bumpier Daytona surface could lead that to be a little bit stronger as they're 3 wide in the middle of the field.
I mean, you kind of have to. You kind of have to expect it would come.
Absolutely. Everybody gets through okay. 42 and the 43. These guys trying to work the middle. Now they get down to the inside of Jeff Schmeier. Bob Beltrami is going to come down and block them.
Oh, we're 3 wide.
Get clear. Schmeier back to double wide.
Schmeier is the king of the double wide trailer. The polyester curtains and the redwood deck. Oh, hang on to her, boys. Hang on to her. The blimp. I think my house is somewhere in there.
High above, you can see now Justin Michael gets a big shove from Schulte. Shoves it back down to the middle. Schulte falls back in line. Look at how many trucks we've got packed up together here. 32 laps to go when they crossed the start-finish line that last time around. The intensity is only going to pick up from here.
My heart's racing. I'm not even in a racetrack. Those are 242 tracks there. Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious. Liam, do you like Lucky Charms?
Yeah, they're not bad.
I'm more of a Honey Nut Cheerios kind of guy.
See, I've always been partial to Frosted Mini Wheats.
Can't go wrong with that. I would get Honey Nut Cheerios and then sprinkle most sugar on it.
There's, look a little bit. Contact up front. As Lehman almost got turned up to the outside by the 69. Looked like one of those spots where the trucks were going to hook. We've seen that happen multiple times this week. These cars just get hooked together, head towards the outside wall. Caution is out.
Oh, was it? I hope the Lucky Charms wasn't involved.
Might have been to do with Dave Rudd.
It had everything to do with that 23 truck, 24 truck rather.
Oh, yep. You're right.
Oh!
Skylar Vickroy is caught up into another one.
tough break.
It just checks up a little bit, gets a bump from the 16. We're under caution once again. Once again, everybody's coming. You take tires this time, Alan?
You do. You absolutely do. You have to.
I believe we're looking at one stop from here.
Yeah, you're about right. So the last stop, you take tires now. The last stop, you take fuel only, and you're good to go.
That's provided it stays green.
Provided it stays green. And
Nobody takes tires.
oh,
Chris Samard may have taken 2 tires there with a 10-second pit stop. Apologies
and just
for
when
that.
you think you got it figured out.
Well, I'll take it happening once versus every time there's something big happening on the track. We know that these updates have been a lot for a lot of computers here. We're doing our best here at Sim Racing Media to make sure that we can deliver quality broadcasts that we try to hold ourselves standard to.
Oh, for sure.
Well, with that being said, quality broadcasts have quality commercials. So we're going to go ahead and show you some of our cool stuff that we've got in stock. We'll be right back for the restart. Back live here at Daytona. Kerry Cleaver leads over Andrew Schulte, Ross Rawlings, Justin Michael, and James Lehman falls back to 5th after the pit stops. Ryan Steele gets up into 5th, actually. James Lehman into 6th. Green flag back in the air, and Kerry Cleaver's going to lead him down.
And we are back green. Look at that 69 truck. on the inside there. Beltrami looking to make a move.
Beltrami looked out of the inside of Steele. Steele closed the door. Meanwhile, Andrew Schulte closed the door on Kerry Cleaver up front. We've got a new face out front, and that's the Taco Bell truck, but for how long? As Ross Rawlings has a strong run up on the top side. Here comes the 43. Look in the middle. Ross Rawlings gets turned down to the inside. Butch Davis to the outside.
And we are crashing big.
Richie is involved. The 85. Butch Davis comes back down the racetrack. Wilkinson, I believe, was able to get through it. Kevin Becker in the grass. We saw him turned around sideways in the 85. I think it's still a one-stopper.
I think you come in and at least top it off. If you're in the back, you come in and top it off.
I would agree. Let's take a look and see what happened. So Butch Davis goes down to the inside. They're essentially 4 wide there because the 50 tries to come back up in line behind Rawlings. And I think the 43 tries to avoid him as he's coming back down the track, and that gets him turned up in front of Rawlings. Just a lot of checking up at different speeds.
Closing rates have a factor in it too.
Like Becker got a bit of a doink in the front and the back, but he might be okay to continue. See what JTW saw from a little bit further back. Does a great job, basically just stopping for it.
Yeah, just keeping that truck under him.
Kevin Becker's going to get that damage looked at, though. Getting an extended look at it on the pit lane. 25 laps to go. Your top 14 stayed out under this caution flag. Chris Simard on back, 15th on down to Robert Stevens in the 26th position, that 90 truck. Julian Ritchie also, he came in with some damage. Kevin Becker getting back out onto the racetrack. James Lehman still getting some damage looked at, along with Butch Davis, Dustin Burns, and Skylar Bickroy. I believe he's getting back out onto the racetrack. He is still on the lead lap in 32nd. Butch Davis still sitting in the pit lane. See if he gets going here before the pace car comes around to, I believe, take the 1 to green. He does get going. So he's going to stay on the lead lap, but just barely. We go back out front. Chad Simpson has found his way back to the front.
Way to go, Chad.
He started on the pole. It's a bit of fun time in the middle of the race, being around the middle of the pack, but I think he wants to get right back to where he started and continue on with that. Andrew Schulte, defending champion of the series, sits in second. Kerry Cleaver in third. Justin Michael, your defending race winner from Dover last week, sits in fourth. Ryan Steele in fifth place. Bob Beltrami in the Beltrami Salami Machine. Jeff Schmeier. Ross Rawlings, who's had an eventful day. He's recovering from both contact on pit road and getting turned down to the inside wall where we just saw there, which could have been a bit of a saving grace, keeping him away from a lot of those wrecking trucks around him. I tell you what, Alan, that crash wasn't big in terms of the amount of trucks collected. I mean, 6 or 7 trucks, that's still a pretty decent sized crash. But the amount of surface area of the racetrack that it took up, there were cars kind of crashing everywhere.
Oh, you're not wrong.
And with that quick caution, we are staying single file for this restart.
I think Andrew Schulte has something for Chad Simpson there.
I think so too, but these top 14 are on a different pit strategy than the 17 drivers behind them. Some of those guys out there with some damage. But with the single file restart, things are going to get pretty spread out here, Alan.
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm sure they'll come back together as the green flag is back in the air. Chad Simpson leads over Andrew Schulte. You can see him already starting to get double wide towards the back of this pack. Oh, crashing already in turn 1. Kelman's involved. Kelly Bishop. Wow, what a hit there for Kelman. Swearingen gets a piece of that as well.
That is so crazy.
See what happened here. Slow it down. And it looks like Kelman's going to get a touch from the 19 that sends him down the racetrack and then hooked back up. 242 gets a piece of it as well. That's Scott Kukas. And you can see Swearingen just nowhere to go. The 04 at Burns rather. And I'm still not sure if you can make it if you pit here. But I think that's a lot to ask.
That's a tall order.
Gonna be a big ask. Doesn't look like anybody's gonna try to come in.
Might not.
Some guys towards the back. Matt Sisler, Nathan Brown. Julian Ritchie, Barry Phil. Some of these guys also with some damage to get looked at. Interestingly enough, Dustin Burns stayed out there.
Do you see the 2 front runners hitting the apron?
Yeah, also 4th place Justin Michael doing that as well. Wonder if these guys are clutching it. Let's see if we'll have to see.
They might be clutching it.
I don't see any RPMs on that thing. Or he's just running in high gear.
We got 21 laps to go. I'm surprised no one came down.
Schulte is clutching, if not turning the car all the way off.
That does not surprise me.
Justin Michael's also in fuel save mode. Everybody's up in the high gear. Beltrami, he's off the... He's clutching there.
You can tell the guys are clutching.
Yeah, Jeff Schmeier's clutching there too. This is so cool. We just get access to be able to see what these guys are doing. Hopefully not everybody is watching the stream and we're not exposing literally everybody for trying to save fuel here in this race, but it's just really cool to see these guys getting a completely different opportunity to play strategy at Daytona. As the lights are off on the pace truck once again, we're going to single file it as we had another quick caution. That is the Western States rule. We jump down to single file if we have a few successive cautions.
We've had a few successive cautions.
So now we'll have 19 laps to go at the restart. And I tell you what, I almost want this to stay green. I want to see who's going to bite first. Who's going to be the first one to blink and go into the pit lane. Is it going to be for a splash? Are these guys out front who've stayed out since lap 51? Granted, that's only about 10 laps ago. Are they going to be able to take that quick splash, or do they need to get more to make it to the end? A lot of questions to be answered, and only 20 laps to answer them.
I think if you're the top 4, you risk it. You stay out, you risk it.
Well, you can't just stay out.
Sure you can.
20 laps? You gotta make one more stop.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see how long these guys can go, though. Chad Simpson, Andrew Schulte, Kerry Cleaver, Justin Michael, Ryan Steele round out your top 5. Bob Beltrami, Jeff Schmeier, Ross Rawlings, Rob Gall, Earl Weaver. He rounds out the top 10. Then we've got Barnes, Woods, Weaver, Samard, and Brandon Hughes rounding out the top 15. Pace truck makes that hard left turn once again. And we are ready to roll for the final 19 laps here at Daytona.
19 laps to go. And it looks like Chad Simpson jumped out to the early lead. Down into 1. There's single file.
Single file through the top 6, top 8, top 11. But they are getting feisty out around 17th or so places. Now you see Milfeld trying to push Widener up on the top side. Milfeld spent a lot of time getting some damage repaired. Widener was also involved in a few incidents, none of his own doing. These guys try to get back up to that lead pack, get closer and closer, try to contend for this race win.
Look at these guys going single file, and Schulte's hanging right there with Simpson.
Staying right up, tucked under that rear spoiler. Trying to get as much draft on the front end of that truck. And you know, that's got to be a little bit of fuel saving action. That 42 out front, he's punching the biggest hole in the air. He's using the most fuel. He's got to try to let off just a little bit to get onto the front bumper of the 81 of Schulte, which is maybe what you were seeing him do there on corner entry. As weird as it sounds, if that lead car lets off of the gas or maybe just trails the brake just a hair, pulls him back to that truck in front of him, and that allows the truck, or the truck behind him rather, that allows the truck behind to push forward uninterrupted with no air resistance whatsoever because the truck in front is just completely blowing that hole in the air.
Here comes Beltrami on the outside, leading the outside pack. Oh, they got enough momentum.
Two separate packs here. Things heating up at the back of this one here. The 85. It's Kevin Becker. He's made a big move from the top to the bottom, but he's going to get stuck in behind that 17. Not sure where to go now. He's going to try to block the run of the 16 that looks up top. Jumps up there. Doesn't quite have enough. Scott Kukas is involved in another one. I believe Kyle McCartney is well with heavy damage. And now the fuel game is over.
Now they're all going to come in.
See what happened to Kyle McCartney here. Big run on the top. Gets in the back of Butch Davis. Lehman was in it. .45 with heavy wall contact as well, and there's another 6 trucks caught up in this one. Swearingen, just what kind of luck has he had here today?
The kind that you probably just don't want.
Let's go on board with him as he once again slams on the brakes for another crash happening in front.
He's made the highlight reel.
That is a fact. That's one way to do it. Everybody's coming in. Who's going to win the race off of pit road?
That's what we're going to find out.
Chad Simpson gets away strong. Bob Beltrami in second. Andrew Schulte, Ross Rawlings, and Justin Michael. Jeff Schmeier looked to have taken tires there. Chad Simpson gets out. Justin T. Wilkinson and Jeff Schmeier are the only two to elect to take 4 tires under that pit stop. At least of your lead lap kind of contending cars that haven't had damage yet. You know, there's a lot of guys that are coming in trying to get those last little bits of damage pulled out, those fenders unwrinkled, so that their aero can be at its maximum capacity for these final 15 laps.
Are they going to go double file or are they single still?
I think they'll double it up. They at least made it got a few laps this time. We'll keep an eye on that.
So last week we ran at Dover. Now we're in Daytona.
That is true, yes.
You got heavy cloud cover over in turn 4. It's still sunny.
After this, we move on to Chicagoland Speedway, Joliet, Illinois. Then we move on to Pocono. Take a week off, go on to Homestead, Nashville, Charlotte, Mosport, Texas, California, Phoenix. Then we finish it out in Las Vegas at the beginning of June. So this is the official midway point of the season.
You're right. They're gonna double them back up.
Doubling it up once again. Chad Simpson leads with Bob Beltrami to his outside. Going to be 13 laps to go when they take the green flag. Could it be for the final time today?
Probably not.
Well, it just depends on if you want to be an optimist or a realist. These races at Daytona, they always get hairy at the end. People start to get more and more aggressive. And as less trucks are going to be involved in this race, people are going to have just all that much more going through their minds.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna be a realist. How about hopelessly optimistic?
Well, we'll see how it goes. We've got 13 more laps here of scheduled distance at Daytona. Chad Simpson leads him down over Bob Beltrami, Andrew Schulte, Ross Rawlings, and Justin Michael in the top 5. Pace truck makes that hard left turn. Green flag is back in the air and the inside. That's a little bit stronger of a restart. Chad Simpson's able to get away.
Chad Simpson made a stronger restart, but Bob Beltrami is coming on the outside. Does he have enough?
3 wide back here. JTW making a risky move. He's back on the lead lap. He's got fresh tires. He's looking at the middle between Woods and Weaver. Gets in back behind Woods up on the top side. Moving back up to the front, though. Andrew Schulte leads now. Justin Michael, Kerry Cleaver, Bob Beltrami up on the top side. They've got help with Ross Rawlings. Chad Simpson trying with help from Chris Samard on the bottom. That 69 car is really getting upset up on the top side of the racetrack, don't you think?
Oh, a little bit. I mean, now is the time to start going. So you got 11 laps to go. You really got to go.
The side draft is going to start picking up. These guys are going to start pushing harder, pushing pushers. Justin Michael and Andrew Schulte up on the top side versus Chad Simpson and Chris Samard on the bottom. Top side prevails so far.
Andrew Schultz is getting ready to bail on the top side and go down and block Chad Simpson.
He thought about it there, didn't quite have the space to get the job done though.
Schultz is stuck on the outside.
Yeah, still stuck there. These guys nose to nose, 11 laps to go across the line. Schultz has got himself about an inch or two of an advantage getting into one, but that bottom side, shorter distance prevails on corner entry. Gonna see that outside start to get the run once again as we come up off of 2. We'll see which lane gets closer together, formed up better is the front of the inside lane. Those two just about got hooked together perfectly. It's going to allow Chad Simpson to get out front by just about a car length. Is he going to be able to get clear?
He's got the ever so slight advantage.
Well, here comes Schulte back on the top side. How many times have we seen these guys trade and lead back and forth with lap after lap, corner after corner, inch by inch? There's just no getting away in this pack.
Oh, no, there's not. I wish there was, but there's definitely not. I think it stays. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say that it stays green.
Well, who knows what we're gonna see as these guys are all over each other. Look at Michael Milfeld Jr. He's made himself up into 5th place. That third truck on the bottom lane. Remember, we saw him getting turned around off of turn 4 around lap 25 or so. Making a great recovery effort. Great job that crew has done to get the damage repaired on pit lane. Now Michael sitting here racing for fourth on the inside of Justin Michael. Andrew Schulte contains the race lead on the top side, but for how long?
9 to go. Chad Simpson gonna make a move on the inside.
He slid up the track. He slid up the track a little bit. Schulte had to react. Simard slides up the track as well. Milfeld Jr. tried to lay down the push, but Chris Simard all over the back bumper of that 42. There's 8 laps to go. Almost some 3-wide action. You see one of them going all the way down to the bottom. That's that Logitech machine, I believe, of Julian Ritchie. Down on the bottom there. He went down below the apron. Didn't advance his position, but he went down there. It looked like he was going to try to get out of the pack. Gets back in line. He's back down there again, though, trying to chase, trying to follow in line that inside lane. Andrew Schulte with a strong run up on the top side. Big push from Justin Michael. That's going to be the story, back and forth. How can Michael push Schulte, and how can Simard push Simpson?
And that's the question we're going to have to answer here. Gosh, I love this shot. The old chopper cam.
I love the wide angles because we can see what all of these trucks are doing in this lead pack. It takes a little bit away from that battle for the race lead. You can't really tell how close these guys are at all times. And I tell you what, this is so cool to see them coming up off of the corner. They're bumping around. They're moving around. Running over bumps on the racetrack. Running over bumps from each other. This is what Classic Daytona is all about. And you can see just where these runs are coming from and going. Ryan Steele up into the wall on turn 3 entry.
We stay green.
He's still up top of 3 wide here. Oh, and he's going to get into the 85. Around goes the 85. Caution is out once again. The 24 was stopped on the inside. Kevin Becker with heavy damage now.
That's going to be a protest.
So Steele is up on the top side of the racetrack. 85 kind of comes up a little bit. Not really sure I can put fault on either one. What is the 24 doing? He's sitting down there all by himself already.
He might have got just turned around down there.
Could be
or
the
he's
case.
coming to his pit stall.
Well, he's stopped. One of them making hard contact with the outside wall. Trying to jump forward and see who that is. He's already there. He's been there for a minute. Oh, he's gonna get turned. But he just kind of stayed there.
So that's going to bring us like 5 laps to go.
He's still there. But yeah, 5 laps to go right now. Now you look at what Andrew Schulte is doing. He's running that bottom of the racetrack. This is the tough spot about pitting when you did lap 65 of an 80-lap race where you've only got about 15 to 17 laps of fuel with cautions added. Overtime is going to be killer.
Overtime's probably going to happen.
You can't afford to come in and pit with 2 laps to go. You're going to lose way too much track position. Are we going to see a fuel mileage race here at Daytona? It's definitely possible, and with overtime, we could see some crazy, crazy things.
I think we will.
Well, we'll have to see. We're going to go ahead and take another quick break here. We'll be right back with the restart. Back live here as we double up with 4 laps to go, which leaves us 3 laps to go in regulation. Are we going to make it back around 2 more times to get the white flag and end this race, or are we going to see overtime, which none of these drivers want to see?
The boost doesn't even want to see overtime.
I don't know. I am interested to see what happens no matter what. We've had ourselves an incredible day of action here at the Daytona International Speedway. Andrew Schulte, Chad Simpson, ready to lead him down for what could be the final restart.
Four laps to go. Schulte, Simpson, Michael, Samard. Here's your top 4.
We got Cleaver, Milfelt, Beltrami, Widener, Rawlings, and Bishop to round out our top 10. Rob Gall, David Weaver, Earl Weaver, Brian Barnes, Charles Woods, Julian Ritchie, Jeff Schmeier, Nathan Brown, Dustin Burns, Brandon Hughes in the top 20. Barry Phil, Matt Sisser, Scott Kukas, Robert Stevens, Ryan Steele, Kyle McCartney, and Justin T. Wilkinson round out the cars on the lead lap. Pace car's ready to make that hard left turn as the 24 is still stopped on pit entry. Staying off the racetrack, not a problem for us. Green flag back in the air, and Schulte gets away with a strong restart with a big push from Justin Michael.
Come on, guys. Let's make it 2 more laps around. Schulte got this.
Schulte's going to have a lot of blocking to do as there are massive runs. Look at the big move that the 69 made to come up to the top. And now here comes Chad Simpson through the middle 3 wide. Michael Milfelt on the bottom of the racetrack with help from Widener. And there's a move to the middle of the racetrack. There's not going to be enough space.
No.
Simpson in through the middle. He's going to push Schulte and shove Justin Michael up the racetrack. Chris Samard moves into the middle.
No.
Ross Rawlings trying to follow through. There's 10 cars in this lead pack. They're pulling away a little bit from the rest of the trucks around them. 2 more laps to go. Popsicle Sticks in the air in the top 3, able to get single file by about a car length in front of Milfeld Jr., who's still 3 wide for 4th.
I think we got to make it back around. Once we make it back around, it's over if we wreck.
1.5. Schulte with a big push from Simpson. Simpson moves down to the inside with help from Milfelt. They're side by side for the race lead. Chris Samard stuck in the middle. Justin Michael up on the top. Chad Simpson moves forward into the race lead. There's contact with Widener down the racetrack. They keep it straight so far.
Oh boy.
Off of turn number 4, the white flag in the hands of the starter. It's in the air. We're coming to the checkers. 3 wide through the middle goes Justin Michael. Schulte takes the race lead. A bump from Samard. They're side by side. Simpson.
It doesn't matter.
The 69 goes around. We keep on going. Kerry Cleaver's out of it. Justin Michael up to the top of the racetrack. He's got help from Ross Rawlings up on top. Chris Samard trying to take the push from Chad Simpson. All the way up next to the wall is Justin Michael. Samard down to the bottom. They've got help. Simpson gets the side draft on Justin Michael. They're going to try to get clear. Simpson pushes Michael into the wall. Here comes Beltrami to the bottom of the racetrack. Beltrami gets turned into the wall. Chris Samard. He's going to come across and win over Chad Simpson and Jeff Schmeier.
Wow.
Andrew Schulte comes home in fourth, and Christian Bishop rounds out the top 5.
Insane.
There was absolutely no way to tell how that was going to go on that last lap.
I don't think we knew.
Schulte giving a little bit of love to Chris Samard. Gets it done here at Daytona. It's going to go a little bit past the start-finish line before he burns it down.
Just to make sure.
Chris Samard gets it done here in Daytona. He's already left the racetrack, so we'll go ahead and bring him up on in here for... we're waiting on these guys to get up into the booth here.
I think we're still waiting on him. Oh, Chris Savard's here.
All right, Chris Samard, Daytona race winner. It's Liam and Allen up in the booth. How you doing?
Oh, I'm exhausted after that. But it was great. I love it.
Well, 80 laps at the old bumpy Daytona. Nothing came easy for you today, but that last couple of laps especially, what a drive you threw together to keep those guys behind you for as long as you could and even get back around them.
Yeah, I was going through the middle with my teammate Chad there, and he got to the bottom, and I don't know exactly what happened after that, but I was side drafting everyone and just trying to stay out front. So I just I don't know. These races are such a crapshoot that it's just you're lucky to finish where you finish. So.
Well, you finished in the best spot you possibly could, out front, in first place, getting the job done at Daytona. Is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong run here today?
I just want to thank all my teammates at SimRig Accessories Creation Studios, FBR, SimRig Accessories Creation Studios. Just everyone that runs the league. You guys up in the booth do a great job, and my wife and son. So.
Awesome stuff, man. Congratulations on the win. You definitely earned that one. That was a crazy, crazy drive and a crazy defense on that last lap.
Well, thanks, fellas, and you all have a good night.
Yep, you too. That was your race winner, Chris Samard. I believe you've got Chad Simpson, our second place driver, with you, Alan.
Chad Simpson, Alan and Liam in the SRM booth. How you doing? Man, couldn't quite get it done. And take us through that last lap.
Going to be a thing. I think that probably had a little effect on what you saw there.
So, you know, it was exciting last lap, and like, do you think he had something for Chris Martin?
I wasn't really trying to. He's my teammate. He's in front of me. I'm pushing him. We had a whole lot of team cars around us there at the end that were trying to throw up blocks, and we kind of forced our way through. It was kind of fun, actually. Definitely aggressive. A lot of aggressive moves, and it's just one of those things where you gotta survive, really.
Yeah, Chad, we're going through here watching this last lap. You guys are beating and banging on the doors more than your local Saturday night short track.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just don't want to let you go. And I mean, it's Daytona. It's plate racing. That's what NASCAR is, at plate tracks. So I guess we just accommodate the show.
I gotta ask you, are you a Blues fan?
Yeah, maybe.
From one St. Louis to another.
I don't know what could have given that away.
At any rate, so I get off topic. What part of the Lou are you from?
Well, I'm not in St. Louis anymore. I'm in Texas, but I was from St. Peter's.
Well, as a former, I was telling Liam about Emo's Pizza, and he's got to get some. Anyway,
And St. Louis style pizza is pretty good.
Anybody that you'd like to help get here tonight?
I got to thank our sponsors, Dr. Dabber, the FBR Sim Rig Accessories Creation Studio, Maradness Alice Engineering, Sim Motion, the guys at Satellite Racing, FBR Motorsports. We had a 1-2. The admins, thanks to Bob for putting on the series. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, the fan club. Hopefully, you had just an exciting race to watch.
Yep. And well, thank you for your time, and 12 and 24.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so then last but not least, we'll go ahead and bring in Jeff Schmeier, our third place finisher. Jeff, well, I know you started in fourth, but walk us through that last lap. I can't imagine that you were expected to come home in third.
Yeah, not really. Not bad for restarting in 17th. But yeah, we kind of got off the front pack, which I mean, I kind of ended up being a blessing in disguise because it really allowed me to kind of set up that last lap. I really just kind of went where people weren't, and luckily they were just they were crashing around me and not into me. So yeah, not bad at all.
We're watching your drive through here on the back straightaway as he cut down to the inside of the 81, getting onto the apron. And I mentioned to Chad Simpson, there was more door banging on that last lap going on than you'd see on your normal short track Saturday night. You guys were crazy aggressive, but somehow making it work. What does it say about this league to be able to run through a last lap like that and only have minimal cars spinning out and crashing?
Well, unfortunately, it was a little rougher than I think most people hoped it would be. But yeah, I mean, it's with the way this old Daytona track is. I mean, it almost is like a short track, and that you have to really watch the people around you. But yeah, it's just about anticipating where other people are going and just driving defensively, really.
Well, you did a great job of driving defensively, offensively. You even had a little bit of trouble on pit lane with the car getting locked up behind you, making some contact. It was a super up and down day for you, but you come home in third. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to for such a strong run here today?
Well, of course, I got to thank my parents and my sister. They're always watching. I love you guys. And then my fiance and my fiance's parents, they like to watch too. I just want to say I love you all.
Awesome stuff. Congratulations, Jeff, on the podium finish, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
All right. Thank you, sir.
That's going to about do it for us here in a full, high-octane night of racing here. It was only 200 miles, but I tell you what, we had ourselves a full-on Daytona 500's worth of action here. Chris Simard gets the job done over Chad Simpson, who you could tell was a bit dejected there. Jeff Schmeier really pleased with that third-place finish. Andrew Schulte follows up with Christian Bishop rounding out the top 5. Then Charlie Widener, Julian Ritchie, Michael Milfeld Jr., Rob Gall, and Charles Woods rounding out the top 10. Justin Michael falls to 11th with that last lap wall contact, finishing in front of Brandon Hughes, Nathan Brown, Ryan Steele, Robert Steffens, Kyle McCartney, Dustin Burns, Brian Barnes, Scott Kukas, and Ross Rawlings rounding out the top 20. 21st was Barry Phil, Justin T. Wilkinson, Scott Kukas, Bob Beltrami, Kerry Cleaver, Lyle Swearingen, Earl Weaver, Jeremy Moore, Matt Sisler, and Kevin Becker rounding out the top 30. Skylar Vickroy, 7 laps down in 31st. Chris Voiles, Dave Rudd, James Lehman, Butch Davis, Kelly Bishop, Keith Kelman, and Daryl Scott. Rounding out our field, we got Morris Bogan, Dan Brazington, Fred Williams, Heath Smith, Dennis Fuson did not take the start. Alan Bergen somehow passed Russ Kilgore when neither one of them made the start of the race, but Alan Bergen, can't thank you enough for jumping up in here into the booth with us and missing out on a chance to qualify for Daytona to join me up in the booth. I can't thank you enough for taking off the driver's suit and putting on the broadcast suit and spending this evening up here with me.
Yeah, no worries. Hey, it's always fun hanging out with my buddy Liam. This makes up for the time I'm going to miss spending with you over the weekend.
Yes, sir. Well, that's all right. I hope you have fun in Nashville, and once again, can't thank everybody enough for tuning in. As we close out, we'd just like to remind you, as you walk through the streets of life, please don't play in traffic. Thanks, folks.